right now I'm probably paying over like 30k every single month, like guaranteed. Like, so for me, getting to 20 obviously it's just going to be more. I mean, not that.
Sorry. Every month.
Yeah,
every month you're guaranteeing over 30 grand.
Yeah,
to landlords.
30k with rent, bills, everything.
Bro, how do you sleep at night?
So what are we doing, man?
Bro, we need to go to Mercedes. Got a letter saying that there's an issue with I think my steering. I don't know how they managed to detect it. So that's one. And also my boot keeps opening as well. So I need to go to Mercedes to sort that out.
So these are rich guy problems that you've got right now.
Bro, nah. This is.
When's the new car landing, bro?
You know what? Because I'm planning to buy my residential next year.
Yeah.
And obviously got wedding planning and stuff like that next year as well.
Yeah.
The new car's probably gonna come the year after.
Okay.
Probably.
You hope so. Depends how business goes.
Yeah, I mean definitely I'm gonna get a new car. The new car's gonna be bigger than this, man.
Yeah.
The new car's definitely gonna be bigger than this, man. So.
What cars have you been looking at, man?
You know, I'm feeling. I think Mercedes GLA. I think GLA or GLE.
Okay.
Coupe. Yeah, I'm thinking either matte grey, matte green. Yeah, matte Mercedes GLE. So you've heard it here first. What is it? 17th of July, 2024. Next car is gonna be Mercedes GLE.
No Lamborghini Urus, no?
To be honest, if I'm feeling cheeky, I might get that. If I'm feeling, depends how I'm feeling, bro. It depends how I'm feeling, to be honest, man. But this thing, did you say I can book it in or can this be done? Yeah, if you can.
Well, it definitely can't be done today. Go on.
So the thing is, the boot doesn't just open randomly whilst I'm driving. It's like, for example, I'll wake up and I'll look outside and my boot just opens. Because that happened with my boy as well, and he's based up north. But even to look at is 260.
235.
235. So they just said it's a normal problem that happens with Mercedes. But I'm gonna have to book in another appointment for my boot issue.
So why ain't you got any units in East London?
The thing is, even though I'm from East London, bro, one, I haven't, and this is the problem. When I first started, I only wanted to get units that were like 20-30 minutes away from me max, because I thought, you know, when it's near you, there's problems, you can go to it. But I feel like sometimes when you're trying to scale, it's like beggars can't be choosers. So if you see a deal that makes sense, it might be 45 minutes away from you, but then at the end of the day, if that could be an opportunity to get on the market, on the ladder straight away, then you know, you take it. So for me personally, and that's exactly what happened. All the ones that I took, literally none of them are in East London, even though I'm from East London. So yeah, man, I feel like you just have to be open, man.
Do you look for a lot of properties in East London, or like have you stopped looking for properties in East London?
You know, I wouldn't even say I really look anymore. I'll say I'm more picky with taking on units, because for me 15 to 20 is a calm amount for what I'm trying to achieve. For me, rent to rent is just about like purely cash flow. I don't really have the ambition to get to like 50, 100 units for me, because again, I can see like the headache that comes with it. So for me, it's just a calm amount where I can manage, you know, that I can still do other things, because as I said to you before, that developments is obviously where I'm at.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to go bigger with that. So yeah, man, just about dedicating time to the right things.
You mentioned flats being too much trouble.
Yeah.
I was literally just about to ask that, you know.
Yeah, you know what it is? Like a lot of, so the viewing that we're probably gonna go today, that one is like an apartment. But the thing is with apartments, yes, they look nice for like Airbnb, but the biggest problem is a lot of the leases don't actually allow you to sublet it. So like it's pointless. So the chances are, even though the landlord can be happy for you to use it as an Airbnb, legally, whether it's a concierge or if the building managers find out, the whole thing's gonna get shut down. So for me, that's why, even though apartments do look nice, that's why I don't have any high-end modern apartments.
How would you find out if any of these apartments have how would you find out if they allow you to
So
rent out?
if you were to look at the landlord's lease, the contract the landlord signed, more than likely it will probably say you're not allowed to sublet it. But really and truly, most apartments, unless you're direct to the developer, then you know you can get away with certain things. But these majority of these high-end modern apartments, like for example, if we were to go Canary Wharf, they all have the same rules. You know, like no subletting. So yeah, man, I feel like it's common knowledge. Like the more you're in the industry, you see these things.
So how long did it take you to realise that flats are a no-go? Is that something you kind of learn quite quickly, or?
I'll say I think, because obviously I started off with HMOs, so I would say probably from about property number 4, because I wanted to scale so aggressively. I was ready to take on anything. But then I remember there was a time when a deal was sourced. I didn't source a deal, but a deal was sourced to somebody, like a mutual friend of mine, and then she was saying that she got a letter from the council saying that she has to stop operating the Airbnb because it's not allowed. And I was thinking, hold on, like this lady paid £3,000 to someone and it's actually not allowed. And then the same thing happened to someone else. And then I remember I was going to take on 2 properties from a landlord, and I wanted to put a lockbox outside. But in order for me to put a lockbox outside, I need permission from the building owners, because obviously the landlord, it's just a flat. I don't own nobody owns a freehold. So I had to get in contact with a freeholder who's the building manager. And when I got in touch with them, they said you're not allowed to even use the properties for Airbnb purposes. So yeah, man. And if I didn't call him, and I took on those 2 apartments, I would have ended up losing money, because despite the fact that I would have furnished it, they would just shut down the whole thing, and the landlord doesn't want his mortgage or anything being affected. So yeah, I feel like after those experiences, I was like, you know what, it's not even worth it, man. There's a lot more properties out there, man.
I mean, everything you're saying makes sense. Yeah. One thing that just popped to my mind, is obviously a lot of these apartments that we're driving past, they don't have. It's more than likely that they won't have in the head lease that you're allowed to sublet.
Yeah.
But subletting is probably happening in these apartments.
Yeah.
For any of your mentees about to join onto the mentorship, if one of them say that listen, they found an apartment, they're not too sure whether or not they're allowed to sublet or not, but they're looking to go forward with it, what would you tell them?
To be honest, bro, I'll tell them I wouldn't advise it, because yes, they might be able to use it as an Airbnb for the next 2-3 months, but it's like they're always gonna have to be looking over their shoulder, because at any moment, if the neighbours complain, the neighbours report to the council saying, all it takes is one bad guess can ruin everything. Yeah. If somebody has a calm guess, where there's no stress, then the neighbours could be fine. But the moment you have a bad guest, you'll be surprised how quickly it can turn on you, because I almost had that in one of my properties, but fortunately it's not these modern high-end apartments. And also I feel like when you actually want to systematize your business where you don't have to always be there, with these modern apartments it can be more difficult, because when I think of things like lockboxes, when I think of all these things with cleaners, the ease of them going in and out, with these high-end modern apartments where there's concierges, high-level security, it's just not as easy to do that. So very often the people who do these type of apartments, they're always having to check in the guests, and for me that's a long.
So there's a lot of these type of apartments on Airbnb. So are they all being what you would say illegally sublet, or are they owned by the freehold, the developer? How does it work, or how do you think it works?
Me personally, I don't believe that all of those apartments are legally allowed to be used as Airbnb. But maybe for whatever reason, whether it's the building manager or the neighbours, maybe they don't care. But there's a lot of people who do Airbnbs in these high-end modern apartments, and they get shut down. But some people, obviously, they're fortunate enough to get away with it. But for me, I just can't be asked for that risk, man. There's enough stress in business as it is. I don't need to add more stress to myself. 3 apartments in Maidstone, and those properties, the concierge is aware of it. The owner of the building is aware that the properties are used for Airbnbs. So because I've got permission from the concierge, and the owner of the whole building knows that. The
owner of the whole building in Maidstone? Because
the concierge has to get permission that apartments are allowed to be used for Airbnb purposes.
Wow.
So because I already have permission, that's fine. So that's what I'm saying. So it's possible if the people above you, people who monitor the building, give you permission. But sometimes landlords will just say, yeah, you can use it for Airbnb, because they're just thinking about their own pockets, because they know the moment shit hits the fan, that you're gonna have to get out, because they're gonna do anything to protect themselves. So
in that case, is there anything to mitigate the risk that you just put money in, maybe furnish your property? If you have to obviously go and take everything out, can you put that in a contract anyway?
The thing is, it depends what position you're in. I feel like if you're somebody who's new, you demanding all these different things in contracts could lead to you not getting the deal. I remember when I wanted to take on my first property, I was so scared, and I was asking bare people, should I change this in the contract? Should I change that in the contract? But the more things you try and add to, to try and make it sound all perfect and sweet, when it's your first deal, to be honest, you probably just put the landlord off. So I think there's only there's main things in the contracts that you need, obviously like permission to sublet and things like that. But again, when you're taking on a modern apartment, it's like you kind of know what you're going into, especially if you're educated. Like you kind of know the risk that you're taking. Can't lie, man. These ones are nice, man. These ones are nice.
Bro, these ones are nice.
These
bro.
ones are so nice.
And you know what's crazy, bro? You know, a lot of these ones, I've cleaned them. You know, when I was cleaning apartments, I used to come and clean these apartments. A lot of them are nice inside, bro.
Bro, I cannot lie to you. I went to one in XL, bro. I know, and the thing is, they make money. The one in XL, I was probably making like $250 a night. But
Serious.
when you think of how easy it is for you to systematize that, like the girl who was running as an Airbnb, she had to always check the guests in. Like even though they were obviously paying decent money, but she always had to travel to go and check the guests in. For me, I can't bother. If I'm in another country, why am I now having to travel to go and check the guests in?
Wait, but you're
There's
talking
got to be a way around that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
We're talking about systemization.
I mean, of course there is, man. There's things like
Pay the concierge.
I don't know if some people may do that, but there's things like keyness as well, which is possible. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have a nice apartment and the concierge, the people in control, they're happy, then obviously you have nothing to worry about. But
what's the key nest?
So keyness is basically it's a website company where they allow you to drop your keys at a shop, so that when a guest wants to check in, they just have to give a code to the shop and the shop will give them the key. So again, that's one way to systematize it. If you can't obviously put like a lockbox in and around the area. I remember there was one property that I went to view, I think it was like in Grays, high-end apartment. But yeah, when it comes, obviously no lockboxes there. I was thinking of putting a lockbox around the area. Then when I was speaking to someone who lives there, he was like, a lot of people have tried this in terms of running Airbnb in this area and put a lockbox around the building. She said, I wouldn't bother if I was you, you end up losing your money. Because the moment they find out, again, with so much security, all it takes is one person to report it, and then like it's game over. So yeah, for me, I don't want to be checking over my shoulders. Like I want to sleep in peace, man.
So you mentioned you're not scaling beyond let's I think it was 20 properties or 15 properties for
20, 15 to 20 is fine, because there's some that are probably going to be coming to me and I'm not going to turn down.
Okay, so why is that, and why are you going more into developments and stuff now?
I think the main reason why I want it, for me, 15 to 20, I feel like it's a good amount where it's not causing you headache. I mean, right now I'm probably paying over like 30k every single month, like guaranteed. Like, so for me, getting to 20, obviously it's just going to be more. I mean, not that.
Sorry. Every month.
Yeah,
every month you're guaranteeing over 30 grand.
Yeah,
to landlords.
30k with rent, bills, everything.
Bro, how do you sleep at night?
To be honest, yeah, I don't.
I wouldn't sleep at night.
Yeah, I know a lot of people won't be able to do that, but I mean, I don't. It's part of business, bro. There's risks. At the end of the day, I've calculated the risks that I take. But for me, I wouldn't necessarily say that's the worst part, because even if I guaranteed 40k, if I know what I'm doing, you know, I wouldn't stress about it. But the main reason why I don't really care to scale past like 20 rent to rents is because I just feel like it's just unnecessary headache. Like, again, the strategy, it depends on what strategy you're doing. Obviously social housing, the care providers, stuff like that, that's obviously more passive. But when it comes to the Airbnb side of things, for me, I'm just picky with it. Like, I just want to pick ones in areas where I know they're going to do so well, and I can obviously focus on other areas. So for me, I'm not saying I wouldn't scale past 20, but it's very unlikely, because for me, I know what the end goal is, and obviously acquiring the properties is more important. Because obviously I've seen like landlords have increased one of my rents by like £600, but if I owned a property, I'd be making way more money. So for me, my focus now is on actually owning the properties. But I can't lie, Airbnb and rent to rent, it's stuff that I'll always do, because the cash flow is healthy, baby. It's healthy.
Healthy, baby.
It's healthy, man.
So you're buying properties. Is it to do the same system, just owning the property? So you're still going to be doing Airbnb, Booking.com, private bookings, but you just own the property. Is that the only difference?
Yeah, so for now, the plan is HMOs, so buying properties, low priced, where we can add value to and convert them to HMOs, so that we can get commercial valuation and we can be getting the cash flow and obviously capital appreciation at the same time. So that's the aim. But eventually we're probably going to scale up as well from that. And even going to eventually ground up. That's eventually the aim that we want, the direction that we want to go. Like, you see all these new builds, that's eventually the aim that we want to go to, man. So yeah, but HMOs for now.
So do you know what it would take for you to get into developments and start making these new build properties and stuff, like in comparison to where you are now?
You know what? Yeah, I feel like a lot of it comes with time, and for me, I'm embracing the process. Like obviously I know where I want to go. I know that, you know, I want to go eventually like into like ground up developments, like building 20 houses, build to rents, build to sales. But for me, it's about learning the fundamentals, man. Like before you can run, you need to learn how to crawl. So where I'm doing HMOs now, and to be honest, HMOs as a first purchase, bro, that's still quite big. Most people just buy, whether it's a buy to let, do it up. But my first thing is a HMO that I'm going to convert into a 6-bed. So for me, I'm going to learn so much through this process, and I think I want to spend some time just continue to learn. Obviously I'm going to make mistakes, but yeah, this part of the journey, man, I'm just embracing it. A lot to learn. Obviously I'm working with Clinton, who's more experienced in terms of development side of things. So for me, I'm just learning, absorbing as much as I can, and then eventually when it comes to developments, obviously there's going to be more stress with that, but I'll be ready for it, man, because I've gone through the process.
So at what point do you think, because obviously you're entering into a
wisdom,
go on.
That's a GLA that you're talking about.
What, this GLA?
That's a GLA.
Oh yeah, that's dead. That's dead.
That's a GLA.
Yeah, no, that thing is dead.
If I see a GLA,
Bro, I need a
I'll put
GLE,
it
bro.
on.
I'm not GLE, bro. This car's dead, bro. I think this thing's even cheap as well, bro.
You're saying you need a GLE, you don't even know what it looks like.
Nah, because you know what? I've seen it, bro. I've seen. It's like a coupe. It's almost like the Lamborghini Urus, but
Okay.
it's different.
But smaller.
So I'm sure
Tighter.
yeah. But we need to go.
It is better. The GLE is better.
Yeah, GLE is dank, bro.
Yeah,
we
so
need, we need to go to a car showroom, bro.
For sure.
Let's go to a car showroom after next week. Appreciate you getting to the end of the video. As always, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. If you're looking for further help in starting your rent to rent journey, feel free to give me a shout. My Instagram handle is _EZY property.